Okay, people. So back to the Russia and Ukraine thing. If you ever been in the federal penitentiary in New York City or all 50 states in America, most of the leaders of the skinheads are always usually Russian, Ukrainian, Albanian, stuff like that, right? Like I told y'all before, these people is all cousins and descendants of the Balkans and the Slavics. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the word slavery comes from. It comes from the Slavics, the Slavs, because they were slaves, and these people been the underdog for many years. Russia, all of them, they come from a dark past, and they fighting amongst themselves. It's a fact that Ukraine is like harvesting a lot of neo-colonialness, a lot of Nazi neo-fanatics, and Russia is communist, right? They're both like kind of the same thing. It's like choosing the lesser of two evils. But Russia knows to get rid of neo-Nazism because it's also a threat to communism. And like I told y'all before, Russia defeated Joseph Stalin, defeated Hitler when they went to war with the Nazis. The Nazis couldn't take the cold. That was the advantage the Russians had. A lot of mountains, a lot of cold. A lot of Nazi soldiers died. They froze to death. They starved from food. And Hitler extended his army too far and exhausted all of his resources. I want to talk about now the blacks inside Ukraine, even inside Russia. I told you I 70,000 blacks inside Russia, and there's about like 30,000, 20,000 to 30,000 blacks in Ukraine. Most of these people are West Africans, Nigerian, Ghanaians, and stuff like that. And they went there because the medical field education is good, it's great. But now the thing is this: Ukraine has a Nigerian embassy. I don't know if Russia do, but the job of the embassy is to protect the well-being of the citizens from their Pacific country. So when Vladimir Putin announced a year ago that they was going to move on Ukraine, the Nigerian embassy should have told all the Nigerians to come back to Nigeria. So all these people you see that's not being let on the trains and stuff like that, it's not surprising because self-preservation comes first. The Ukrainian people is going to look out for the Ukrainians. They're going to look out for their own. It's not like America where there's a melting pot, a conglomerate of different ethnicities, and even in America, they look out for the whites first. It's called white privilege. And the blacks always get the end of the stick. Right now, we have Chinese rights. You have Stop Asian Hate rights and laws, but you don't have Stop Black Hate laws and stuff like that. And we always getting killed by cops. We've been getting hung, whipped, beat, tarred, feathered, enslaved forever. But 1 year of Asians getting attacked, they created Stop Asian Hate laws. So that already go to tell you how people feel about black people worldwide. In China, there's tons of footage of them spitting on black people and saying niggers, and they was kicking kicking black them out of hotels and stuff like that. So China showed you that. You see it now in Ukraine. Like, white supremacy painted a picture so dark about black people. It's going to take centuries to get rid of it. And the only way it's going to ever be really, truly abolished is if we take back control of what's ours, or if we rise up and become a grand power again. Now, the Africans that was not being let on the train and stuff like that, that's no different during the COVID lockdown when the blacks in China was being kicked out the hotels. Everybody needs to go back to Africa. I don't know why do Africans want to be in everybody else's country, because quiet is kept. A lot of Africans is fleeing Africa, coming to America, Europe, and a whole bunch of other countries. But the people of these countries is going to Africa. China wants Africa. They're in like 15 different countries in Africa. Africa has 52 different countries. Gaddafi told y'all. Gaddafi tried to unite the whole Africa and put everybody under one currency, which is the gold dinar. Gaddafi is responsible for the whole West Africa only needing one passport to travel. Before in Africa, you needed a passport to travel to different countries and go here, there. Gaddafi unified the whole northwestern Africa so they all can travel under the same passport. They don't tell you this though. And the reason why a lot of these Africans is fleeing Africa and going to these other countries, because most of them is impoverished. They economically like just done. But we have all the resources in the world. Africa has all the resources in the world, but they're the poorest people because they don't have the machines to get these natural resources out the ground, the diamonds and the stuff like that, and extract the oil from the earth and all that. But these other countries do. China, Europe, America, Russia, these people have the machines, right? So you would think with all this money the Africans are making off these natural resources, they will reinvest it into getting machines that can extract their own oil. But they didn't. And this is what made Gaddafi so powerful, because Libya did everything on their own. Libya was a sovereign country. They didn't need nobody to dig their own oil up. They was able to get their own oil up. Gaddafi was able to dig his own gold up. If a couple get married, they'll buy them a brand new house. The education and medical was free. Gaddafi was going to do this for the whole Africa. But you have a lot of corrupt and tainted African leadership and presidents. These dudes is weak, they docile, and they submissive to Asian supremacy, well, Chinese supremacy, and they submissive to white supremacy. So do we pity the fool, or do we say fuck these niggas and find a way to make our situation better here? I don't pity weak people from no ethnicity, no group. And it's bigger than racism, it's classism. It's weak and strong, it's good and evil. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual and non-spiritual. It's godly and it's satanic. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's going on. So let's even think bigger past the color, right? But if two devils is fighting, I'm gonna let both devils destroy each other. So if Russia want to conquer Ukraine, let all of them kill each other. It has nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? People got to learn how to mind their business. America got to know how to mind their business. But for America, it's a financial situation. They have money invested in Ukraine. They're funding these people. They're funding these neo-Nazi extremists. In the future, the way it's looking for Africa is this. Africans is going to be all over the world. We already are, but black people are already all over the world. But all the Africans is going to be outside of Africa. And Africa in the future is going to be an Asian and white continent. And they're going to have all the resources, the fruits, the veggies, the vegetables, the resources. And it's going to be like paradise there. And black people is not going to even be able to get back into Africa because they're not going to be no longer considered natives or citizens or the indigenous of Africa. But Chinese is going to be considered the indigenous of Africa. People don't understand. Recently, like 10 years ago, 10 years ago, a few Chinese scholars and scientists were like, oh, we just discovered that we're descendants from Africa and we're black and blah, blah, and we need to get more in tune with our black roots. That's the gaffle. Everybody knows Africa's the cradle of civilization. But that's the gaffle. So now they back in Africa. They doing business. They putting these African presidents in debt. They giving these dudes $15 billion loans, knowing these dudes can't pay the loan back. They know they can't pay the loan back, but they're thinking about them and their family and their generational wealth. So really, our leadership, African leadership, is selling Africans out too. China is going to be the first country in the world to have a country inside Africa. You know how they got Chinatowns all over in New York City, in 3 different boroughs there's a Chinatown. You know, in California there's a Chinatown because California has the oldest Chinese population. I think they got there in 1883 or 1886 in San Francisco. But anyway, China, between China and the European white supremacist nations, they're going to take over Africa fully. And I mean fully, like the whole Africa is going to be like how South Africa is. South Africa is European. It's ran by Europeans and everything. The whole Africa is going to soon be ran by Europeans and Chinese on a grand scale. I'm talking about in regards to presidents and everything. Not puppets, not them hiding behind black faces anymore. It's going to be white presidents all over Africa, Chinese presidents all over Africa. And they're going to keep all the resources, and black people ain't going to even be allowed to go back to the motherland in which they descended from, and which is their homeland. So let's look past this. Let's look past the Russia and the Ukrainian thing. Let's even look past World War III. Individuals have to prepare spiritually. They have to prepare physically, combat training, everything. Survivalist, agriculture, farming, learning how to plant their food, their vegetables, and people have to become sovereigns mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. People have to become self-sufficient and independent, and this is what it's coming to. A lot of y'all is too reliant on the machine. A lot of y'all is too codependent. And then the people that has a little bit of sovereignty to them, or is semi-liberated, and they try to enlighten y'all. Y'all don't want to get on the train and make the whole movement move. So a lot of y'all's liabilities gets terminated because y'all in the way, and y'all anchor, y'all extra weight, y'all dead weight. So let's look past Ukraine and Russia. Everybody just try to gear up and prepare themselves for if we ever get an invasion by Russia and China, we'll be able to preserve ourselves with food, clothing, shelter, and machinery that's going to be needed to get things done. It's always better to be a warrior on a farm. It's always better to be a warrior in a garden than be a gardener in a war. Those who sweat a lot during peace bleed less during war. Train hard, fight easy. Structure is strength. Knowing is half the battle. Intelligence is impeccable. We need that. A lot of y'all sleeping, a lot of y'all comfortable with gold chains, sneakers. I like clothes too, but a lot of y'all's comfortable with gold chains, sneakers, some pussy, some good weed, a few bottles, a few club nights, and y'all think this shit ain't real. And while y'all stuck in this time loop of partying and fucking and just idol worshiping and stuff like that, real things is going on in real time. You know what I'm saying? People is making moves, and people is putting themselves in position for centuries to come, to where they're going to be in power, their kids are going to be in power, and stuff like that. The gods don't mingle with the mortals, kings don't eat with the peasants. The only time wise men hang around fools is when they educating them or enslaving them. Protect yourself at all costs. Self-preservation is priority. That's it, people. Until next time, man. Strengthen your brain, man. Stay informed. I'm Oxygen, Uno. Iron.